This is the NewsFeed at noon.
Most of it is still on one wheel. It's going westbound, West End. We're coming up on Montgomery Plaza.
You're watching dashcam video from a Fort Worth police chase Saturday night where a suspected drunk driver ends up crashing into two pedestrians. This all began when police tried to pull the suspect over. The video shows the truck speeding through the West 7th Entertainment District, then hopping a curb at a bank down the road, turning around, heading back into all the nightlife. With the tires sparking, the truck hits a car and two people before crashing out near University Drive. Video shows the suspect being arrested. 29-year-old Andrew Michael Guerrera is being charged with intoxication assault with a vehicle. Now, as the two victims who were hit, they are in the hospital with serious injuries, but they are expected to be okay. And security concerns in the West 7th area have been a major talking point for some time, more so after TCU student Wes Smith was shot and killed outside a bar last September. Witnesses are crediting recent increases in police presence for the response and arrests. This also comes after the city of Fort Worth approved new safety bollards for peak entertainment hours, which will be installed in the coming months. Thank you for joining us. I'm Isabel Price. Now, unfortunately, the crashes don't stop there. 4 people were killed after a police chase in Irving led to a crash off Interstate 35E near downtown Dallas. The crash forced police to shut down the Woodall-Rogers exit ramp, causing major delays during the morning commute. People say the chase started around 2 a.m. where they found a stolen vehicle and are trying to conduct a traffic stop. This leads to the 4 people inside the vehicle to take off and eventually leading to their deaths. A Dallas County Sheriff's deputy was also injured when the suspect's vehicle crashed into a light pole, causing it to fall on the deputy's car, injuring his arm. The investigation is still ongoing. Movers Unlimited hosted High School Dance Day. It was a 2-day high school outreach event this past Tuesday and Wednesday with nearly 300 students from different local schools that span the DFW area. Students were on the Northeast campus to take classes in contemporary, hip-hop, jazz, ballet, and company repertoire. All the classes were taught by dance department faculty and Movers Unlimited company members. Immersed on campus, students learned more about our Northeast Dance Department and what TCC has to offer. Some schools had the opportunity to share what they learned on stage by performing their own dance pieces and also witness Movers Unlimited perform in the theater. All the excitement with the dance, music, and cheers could be heard across all various buildings in campus. New Northeast Campus Interim President Dr. Jan Clayton says she is excited for the goals and progress set in place for campus development. Clayton hopes to expand communication engagement during a president listening session. She has realized that students want to be heard. To maintain transparency, Clayton began sending weekly emails in December called the President's Blog. There, she details her week to Northeast Campus employees about the meetings and actions she has taken for the college. Clayton and her team are looking forward to the new developments on campus. They have been working with Perkins & Will, a Dallas-based architectural group, to develop the foundational plans for a new science building that would expand the amount of lab space on campus. A developing story out of Plano where police arrested a teacher for allegedly grooming a child at a private high school. 32-year-old Jacob Allred worked at Great Lakes Academy for 4 years, but recently resigned after allegations came to light. Detectives say a 15-year-old girl told her parents that a teacher confessed his feelings for her and showed them evidence of explicit messages, which they immediately took to Plano police. While Allred is already out on bond, police are investigating how many other students have been contacted in this way. Some consumer groups and health experts say social media can put kids and teens at risk for everything from bullying to eating disorders to depression. And on Wednesday, lawmakers brought in 5 top tech executives for a grilling on how they plan to make the spaces safer. Karen Kaifa is in Washington with what families need to know.
Parents holding photos of young loved ones allegedly harmed by social media, greeting CEOs from Meta, X, TikTok, Snap, and Discord Wednesday as they arrived to testify before the Senate Judiciary Committee over potential dangers posed by their platforms.
Their constant pursuit of engagement and profit over basic safety have all put our kids and grandkids at risk.
At issue, fears of a worsening mental health crisis among children and teens due to social media, including increased risk of depression and suicide, as well as promotion and access to dangerous or illicit substances, national security concerns, and online child sexual exploitation.
You have blood on your hands.
Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle blasting the 5 CEOs for not backing legislation to keep users safe.
I'm so tired of this. It's been 28 years, since the internet. We haven't passed any of these bills because everyone's double talk.
The social media companies have largely maintained they are best suited to help users make smart decisions, touting enhanced safety policies and tools while also deflecting responsibility.
Mental health is a complex issue, and the existing body of scientific work has not shown a causal link between using social media and young people having worse mental health outcomes.
The senators appeared unconvinced, demanding the corporations accept more oversight and be held accountable for any harm caused by their platforms.
America wants answers from President Biden why 3 service members lost their lives in Jordan. Julia Benbrook is there with more when we return.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Need a ride? Yeah!
Driving with kids is a big responsibility.
Hop in and buckle up!
So don't sweat the small stuff.
You got paint all over our paper!
Get the big stuff right instead.
What does that mean?
Like making sure your kids are in the correct car seat and buckled up for safer travel.
That deserves a wiggly wiggly wig.
To make sure your child is in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Beep, beep. Yeah!
If you love them enough to drive an hour to cheer them on as they get beat 11-0 in the rain, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Throw that ball, Diane. Woo! You got this.
Can't believe you're doing this alone.
I've done it before.
I remember. You threw your back out. How you holding up?
Hand me that board.
Nothing wrong with getting help.
I'm good.
I did it when Felicia left.
I'll figure it out.
I know you will, but you don't have to do it alone. That's all I'm saying.
If I promise to look into it, will you drop it and help me build this fence?
Now you need my help.
It can be a real pain sometimes, you know that?
Mm-hmm.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Austin Bergstrom International Airport is the first in the country to receive an advanced air traffic control tower simulation system from the FAA. The goal is to combat problems at the airport caused by a national shortage of air traffic controllers. Congressman Lloyd Doggett of Texas has been pushing the FAA to make changes after 3 near misses at the airport last year. And as our Lauren Harper reports, Congressman Doggett says more work needs to be done.
It is the gateway to our city. And really important that we have a high level of safety.
Austin Congressman Lloyd Doggett says he's encouraged to see the Advanced Air Traffic Control Tower Simulator System delivered to ABIA on time, after discussions with the Federal Aviation Administration throughout last year concerning safety at the airport.
I feel pretty good about going in and out of that airport, but I think we need to do more to assure safety and avoid any kind of near miss like we've had too often in recent months.
He says the center means air traffic controllers will no longer have to go to San Antonio for training, and they'll be trained on the Austin airport's specific configuration.
That becomes really important in foggy, heavy traffic conditions when accidents could occur.
In a statement to CBS Austin, ABIA says it's incredibly grateful to be selected for such a groundbreaking initiative. However, Doggett says the new technology doesn't combat a national shortage of air traffic controllers, made worse in Austin due to the high cost of living.
The best equipment is insufficient if we don't have an adequate number of controllers, and we don't. We picked up 2 controllers, we lost 2 controllers as trainees, and that's another matter that I continue to work with the FAA on so that our controllers get more pay and we attract more of them.
Lauren Harper, the NewsFeed at noon.
We have new information about the deadly drone attack in Jordan, which killed 3 U.S. service members. As the world waits for America's response, President Joe Biden is dealing with mounting pressure on all sides. Washington correspondent Julia Benbrook joins us live from the White House. Julia?
The White House formally announced this afternoon that they believe an umbrella group of militants called Islamic Resistance in Iraq was responsible for the drone attack. Earlier this week, President Joe Biden said he knows how he's going to respond. But the clock is now ticking and he faces a delicate balancing act.
I don't think we need a wider war in the Middle East. That's not what I'm looking for.
It's been 3 days since a drone attack killed 3 U.S. soldiers and injured dozens more in Jordan. The U.S. says the Iran-backed militants launched the strike. Iran denies involvement, but President Joe Biden says they're not innocent.
I do hold them responsible in the sense that they're supplying the weapons to the people who did it.
The president now faces the tough task of punishing the perpetrators without escalating tensions in the region.
Sure, it feels good. It feels macho to say that we are going to destroy our enemies. But at this time, what the United States often does best is not simply go in half-cocked, but rather gather our allies, bring a force to bear.
The question for the commander-in-chief is whether his actions in the coming days will convince Iran and its proxies that America's tolerance has been exhausted.
The GOP presidential hopefuls are also weighing in.
You're just going to see Iran escalate. It's only going to get worse from here. We have to start righting this ship.
Former President Donald Trump continues to blast the White House on all fronts. In a statement released Tuesday night, he said, quote, "Never has it been more clear that Joe Biden simply cannot be commander-in-chief." While Iran denies any responsibility for the attack, one of its military leaders said today that the country will not let any threats by the United States go unanswered. Reporting at the White House, I'm Julia Benbrook.
Thank you so much, Julia. House Speaker Mike Johnson reportedly says a bipartisan border deal is officially dead. That's according to Republicans who attend a meeting with him yesterday. Johnson's office says he'll address the matter at length today. Amy Kiley reports on the politics around the decision.
I have talked to former President Trump about this issue at length, and he understands that. He understands that we have a responsibility to do here.
Speaker Mike Johnson is declaring a bipartisan border deal dead, according to House Republicans. Former President Donald Trump wants to kill the plan. GOP Senator James Lankford has been negotiating with Senate Democrats. That has Republican leaders feeling stuck, according to GOP Senator John Cornyn.
We ought to do everything we can to try and fix it. And if we can't get there, fine. But if we don't try, then shame on us.
Some Republicans are falling in line with Trump. They refuse to support any border legislation that doesn't meet all their demands. That's a tall order in a divided Congress.
Bipartisanship is the only way that action on the border is going to happen.
Republicans say President Joe Biden should use more executive actions to address immigration.
Our country is experiencing a full-fledged invasion with illegal immigrants encouraged by Joe Biden's open border policies.
Biden says he's done all he can without Congress, but he says the day he can sign a bipartisan bill letting him close the border, he will shut it down. I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
San Antonio residents are searching for answers following a police chase leading to the death of an innocent woman. Our John Patterson has more.
It's calm now, but police say this section of Martin is where a couple became victims of a scary crime. A man and woman told police 2 men held them at gunpoint Friday night, demanding a purse and their car. Police say GPS helped them track down the stolen vehicle on South W.W. White Road between Houston and I-10. Officers say the driver failed to stop and proceeded to lead them on a chase. During that chase, an officer in a patrol unit hit a woman in the street, who died there. The person charged with her murder? The suspected carjacker, 17-year-old Renee Camarillo. Police say his actions led to the woman's death.
It's unfortunate. I mean, I feel sorry for her and her family. I really do. I send prayers to her family. It's pretty bad.
Back at the scene today, we talked to this dad who didn't want to be named. He says what happened here is why he worries for his kids' safety.
I can't let my kids even walk to the store because who knows that somebody might steal a car and jump a curve and hit something.
Bexar County data from September shows more teens are carrying guns. It also shows the number of teens involved in car thefts is skyrocketing. This dad says it's an alarming trend with major consequences he feels could have been avoided. For the NewsFeed at noon, I'm John Patterson.
The disappearance of Amelia Earhart has intrigued so many for decades. Is that mystery closer to being solved? Keep it right here.
Man, it's lonely. Like, going through life lonely.
There is the therapeutic aspect of music, just expressing how you feel. I'm going to talk to Howie about his feelings, make it into a song.
You're not gonna get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy, and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training on a Friday afternoon, and the very next day, he took his own life. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. You don't know how much somebody can hide what's going on inside their head. Store your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
We have new details surrounding a nearly 9-decade-long mystery. Take a close look at these sonar images. It's hard to make out, but researchers say it could be Amelia Earhart's long-lost plane. Earhart and her navigator went missing nearly 87 years ago while trying to fly around the world. Now, Deep Sea Vision, a deep-sea exploration company, says sonar imaging has revealed what may be her plane.
That was a surreal moment. You know, we'd been going for 90 days and the team was frustrated and, you know, everybody's kind of on each other's nerves at this point, disappointed, but, you know, you see that come across the screen and, you know, suddenly it's like, wow, that's different. And you don't, you know, you see weird rock formations and things on the bottom of the ocean, but you're not going to see like that nice T shape that an airplane forms.
The imagery was taken about 100 miles from Howland Island and is 16,000 feet below the surface. The island was the next place Earhart was expected to land after her last takeoff flight from Papua New Guinea. A look at our 7-day forecast. Here's Lauren.
If those findings and details are accurate, that is going to be incredible. As we move into next week, we're going to continue to see those above seasonal temperatures, including right now, 63 degrees, mostly cloudy skies, that 10 to 20 mile per hour winds. That's going to be pushing in that precipitation that we're going to be seeing later this evening. As we look across the Metroplex, you're going to be seeing mid-60s across the board, 63 Dallas-Fort Worth, 65 in Abilene. Now moving in later this afternoon, we're going to top out at about 67. 4 p.m., 65 at 6 p.m., and then 8 p.m. That's when we're going to be introduced to those storms. 80% chance at 8, 75% chance at 10 p.m. Those conditions are actually going to carry over into tomorrow and the rest of the weekend. You're going to see it continue to move east as the weekend progresses. It may pick up a little bit of intensity as it moves southeast, where it's going to hit Louisiana and some of Alabama. Now, as we look to the temperatures tomorrow, you're going to be seeing, again, those showers, 50%, 66 for the high. Sunday, we may be graced with a little bit of sunshine. However, that high is slightly lower at 62. As we look for the rest of the week, 61 for Monday and Tuesday. Jump into Thursday and Friday, 70 degrees for that high. Before the weekend, Izzy, we're going to be seeing, again, more precipitation.
Thank you so much, Lauren. We'll make sure to look out for that rain. And as we head back into the break, here's another look at the high school dance days. And coming up next is Timeline Sports.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Everyone deserves to live a full life. And with your help, together we can end hunger. Join the movement at feedingamerica.org/actnow.
Meet the scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you.
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's what white people think. You all right?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
Over the weekend, two of the biggest games of the year were played, the NFC and AFC Championship game. In the early window, it was the reigning Super Bowl champion Chiefs heading down to Baltimore to take on MVP Lamar Jackson and the #1 seed Ravens. The Chiefs came in this game projecting to lose, but they sure switched the odds. The Chiefs held the #6 offense for only 10 points. Final score 17-10 as the Chiefs head to the Super Bowl for the 4th time in 6 years. The night game were the young Lions visiting the 49ers. The Lions were quick to score and they looked unstoppable throughout the first half, putting up 24 points and holding the Niners to only 7 points. This shocked many, even myself, since the Niners were projected to destroy the Lions. As many believed the Lions were going to win and make it to the Super Bowl for the first time in franchise history, we all forgot who they're playing against. It's the Niners. The Niners put up 34 unanswered points to put themselves in the lead. The final score is 34-31. Now, the Super Bowl 58 is set. The Chiefs and the Niners will go head-to-head in Las Vegas on February 11th. Currently, the Mavs hold the 7th spot in the Western Conference. But the reason why I bring them up is because of a game that happened last week. The Mavericks versus the Hawks. Luka put up 73 points to beat the Hawks 148-143. He now joins the 70-point club and leads the franchise with the most points in a single game. The Stars enter the All-Star break with momentum. They still have room to grow whenever playoffs begin. Their record is 30 wins, 13 losses, and 6 ties, and is second in the Central Division. And that's your Timeline Sports.
Thank you so much, Joel. The FCC wants to make robocalls generated by artificial intelligence illegal. The commission said in a news release on Wednesday there's been a rise in these types of calls, so the agency has proposed the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, which includes, quote, voice cloning technology used in common robocall scams targeting consumers illegal. The FCC said in the release, AI technology now has the potential to confuse consumers with misinformation by imitating voices of celebrities, political candidates, and family members. Elon Musk says his startup Neuralink is the latest company to implant a computer chip in a person's brain. The radical technology is still years away from reaching consumers, but experts are already concerned what it means for the future. Ivan Rodriguez explains the potential benefits of brain implants.
Imagine the joy of connecting with your loved ones, browsing the web, or even playing games using only your thoughts.
Elon Musk's Neuralink is joining a list of companies working on implants with the potential to improve lives and fundamentally change the way we interact with technology.
You can operate a computer or a smartphone by simply thinking about moving. No wires or physical movement are required.
Researchers say a brain-computer interface will allow a person to use their thoughts to control a device like a computer or a phone.
If you can get a device that can detect and interact with brain activity, which is all electrical signals, then you can potentially restore that component of the brain.
If the technology works, it could one day have a wide range of health benefits.
I think this is a case where we definitely want to improve the longevity and the lifespans and the health of everyday people, especially those who have mobility needs.
Experts say we're still years away from the device reaching consumers, but as Congress continues to grapple with how to regulate tech companies in a rapidly changing world, these implants are raising concerns around privacy and transparency.
We need strategic foresight here to think through what this all might look like in the future.
The Stanley Cup, not the championship trophy, but an American craze. A few interesting details about this tumbler coming up next.
Owen, when you came into my life, it was a whirlwind.
I just can't do it.
We didn't know what the future would hold, but we knew you would always be a part of it. Adopting you was the best decision in our life. And I am so proud to call you my son.
I taught for 20 years, but I started forgetting my lectures. Eventually, he had to quit. My therapist recommended we go to the doctor. The early Alzheimer's diagnosis allowed us to take control of the situation. He's been such a positive force and so loving. Thank you. You're welcome.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize, and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Put a frog in a pot of boiling water and it'll jump right out. But put a frog in a pot of cool water and slowly heat it up, and that frog will boil. As veterans, we can tell ourselves the lie that it's easier to stay in that boiling water, to disconnect. But you've never been interested in easy. You are not a frog.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
All right, we've all seen them. They come in a rainbow of colors, keeping up to 40 ounces of liquid cold, all while fitting in a car cup holder. As you can see, even murals are being made like this one in San Antonio. Stanley Cups are clearly the it thing to have right now, but they're also grabbing attention for possibly containing lead. Mandy Gaither has more.
Consumers have waited in long lines to snag one. One woman is even accused of stealing $2,500 worth of them. While the Stanley Cup craze continues, some are worried their favorite tumblers may contain lead.
I think anytime you hear that you'll be exposed to lead, you should be concerned.
A spokesperson for Stanley acknowledges that the material used to seal the vacuum insulation at the base of the cups does contain some lead, but says once sealed, this area is covered with a durable stainless steel layer, making it inaccessible to consumers, adding, "Rest assured that no lead is present on the surface of any Stanley product that comes into contact with the consumer, nor the contents of the product." While lead exposure is dangerous, especially to young children and those who are pregnant, Dr. Denise Milstein with Mayo Clinic says she doesn't think it's necessary to ditch your cups.
So if you are using these cups correctly and they are not broken in terms of their sealant, I don't think you need to be terribly concerned.
Milstein says many people use the cups to help encourage more water consumption, a healthy alternative to beverages like soda.
So I do want to encourage people to put this in context for their overall health, not just to be fearful of the potential lead exposure alone.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Happening today, you may already know it's Groundhog Day, and the country's most famous procrastinator will give us a possible hint of how much more winter we'll have to endure. The legend says if Phil sees his shadow, there will be 6 more weeks of winter, but if there's no shadow, many people believe it's a sign spring is just around the corner. It's all in good fun and good for tourism. More than 30,000 people visit Gobbler's Knob in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania every year to celebrate Phil's forecast.